So, welcome everybody. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. My name is Jack Rome, and on behalf of the Center for Awakening, I'm really excited to welcome you to A New Beginning, an experiential gathering designed to help us embrace this new year, 2025, with focus, intention, and tranquility. And so, as we transition into 2025, we can really release what no longer serves us by truly letting go of the past. We can take a natural step forward and begin this new year with reflection, with realization, of course, and a deeper connection to the capital S self. So I just before we head in here and I introduce Lisa and Bill, of course, I'm sure all of you are familiar. I just wanted to share that for myself, when I found out we were having this, I was telling family members and friends like I couldn't think of a better way to kick the new year off on New Year's Day than by having this gathering. So I'm super excited to be here. I'm sure I'm not the only one. But with that, I'm so glad to introduce your guides for today's 2 hour experience, 2 hour gathering. Lisa Natoli and Bill Free, of course, co-founders of the Center for Awakening. I'm going to go ahead and spotlight the two of you, but welcome. Thank you so much for having us for this.
All right. Thank you, Jack, for that awesome introduction. You're such a amazing intro guy and
You are.
communicator. We just love having you open anything for us. Thank you. And Happy New Year to you and to all of you. Happy New Year to you, my love. And we're just excited to start the new year with all of you. This was Lisa's idea, and I immediately said, yeah, let's do that. So this is meant to have a kind of a twofold purpose. One is that we're really stepping into the new year with our best foot forward. We really this isn't a New Year promo thing. This is something where we want our family, whoever you are, wherever you are, to step forward into the new year with us and some ideas that will pull you into your best self, that will pull you into an experience that is your true nature. It really is it's your evolving self as your true nature. And I'm going to turn the mic over to you, babe, so you can get us kicked off here, and then I'll just pick up where you want me to.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much, Jack, and thank you, Bill. And so good to see all of you here. I love always swinging over to the gallery and seeing videos. And, Bill's right. I'm the one that said, let's do this. And this isn't a business call. For me, I never do anything on New Year's Day. It's always been a day of reflection. It's always been a reset for me. It's always just been a kind of, I like to be intentional to really say, oh, it's the first of the year. It's a new year. It's a blank slate. It's a new beginning. And years ago, I just thought, well, I'm doing it. I might as well see if anybody else wants to join me. And so years ago, I started doing New Year's Day gatherings here on Zoom. And then I just said to Bill, "Hey, you want to do it? I mean, we don't have any plans, we're just home." And so that's really the intention for today. There's not going to be a sales pitch. There's not going to be anything like that. And what the idea is that we're going to present three different things. We'll be together for 2 hours. We want you all to feel relaxed, just feel. I see Bonnie Delano in her pajamas, and that just warms my heart. And, just be able to just rest here in celebration, in joining, in connection. We're going to take a short little move around bathroom break, halfway through. But we wanted to just have this be three things. So if you have a journal, you can write it down. Not necessary if you just want to just stay with it. Is thinking about what you want to release that's no longer serving you. And we're also thinking like you don't need to use the chat board for that one, just because and we'll be taking some quiet time, just really so that you can rest in quiet and find out what is it that I don't need anymore, and just allowing it to arise in awareness and allowing the light of ourself to just dissolve it, or you're not going to take it forward into the new year. And then the second thing is just what would you love to have happen in 2025? And the third thing is, what's your highest desire? What's something that you want to hold that's going to remind you of the truth and the truth of what you are. And we wanted this to be 2 hours so that we can introduce some quiet time in here where you can really sit quietly with a question, where you can just allow yourself to reflect, investigate, rest. Just that deep kind of feeling of clarity and peace and joy. So just so happy that you decided to join us. Happy New Year. And I'm going to give it back over to you, Bill.
Well, thanks, Lisa, and I really appreciate you having ideas like this. This really, I mean, having a purpose for for spending our time is everything for us. If you're on this path, and you wouldn't be here if you weren't, you came into time and space, into that bodysuit for the purpose of living your best self, for the purpose actually of awakening. That's why we all came here. And some of us, some of us will spend many more lifetimes. And I've heard that we spend hundreds or tens of thousands of lifetimes to get to this one right now, where we have the freedom of one decision. Our one remaining freedom in this life experience, our one remaining freedom that we have. And it's not talking about we as people, but the one remaining freedom that consciousness gave itself to itself is the freedom to choose who it is, to choose to know itself as itself. That's our one remaining freedom. And the way it shows up in time and space, the way it shows up in this bodysuit, we think we have the freedom to pick up A Course in Miracles or the Bhagavad Gita, or follow a guru, or the Bible, or the Quran, or something like that. And yet we don't really make those decisions. Those decisions are made by our true nature. Those decisions are made by the one that really has come online to awaken to its true nature. And then we go with the impulses, and we think we had the idea. Of course, the clown takes the bow, the ego takes the bow, and all the credit for anything that it thinks it's accomplished. But the thing that starts us on the path of awakening is the ego. It's the thing that we're not. And when we recognize that, when we realize that, it can be, in the Course in Miracles says, it can be startling to us. We can get upset over it. We can be concerned about it. And then, of course, the ego wants to be on the path. It wants to awaken. So it takes a big part in our awakening practice until the recognition of our true nature steps forward. And like that awesome workbook lesson 155 in A Course in Miracles, I will step back and let him lead the way, or I doesn't really, the ego doesn't really step back. The ego begins to dissolve. The ego identity, the Bill identity, or the whatever your name is identity, it begins to dissolve in the practicing of the practices that are in the course, or whatever your sadhana is, which is a Sanskrit word that means practice. Whatever that is for you is the way that the veil thins so that you can know the self, so that you can be what you came to know as your true nature. And Lisa's going to get us started on how we're going to use the symbols. She asked us to have some symbols for today, in fact, Lisa and I sat down with one of my grandchildren a few days ago, and we sort of practiced this. So, Lisa, do you want to bring us into this, and we'll just begin using some of the ideas to uh, sort out what we want to maybe let go of, or and we'll wait to set our intention a little bit later.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, you know, this is kind of a funny thing to, like a New Year's Day reset thing. It's not really in the spiritual realm exactly, so it's a bit of a paradox to be offering a gathering like this. So I love, Bill, that you started with the truth, lesson 155. I will step back and let him lead the way. And so as many of us think about, you know, what we'd like to have our life be, and or what we'd like to let go of, I always feel like it's important that we remember the truth of our identity first, like that we set it where we are remembering what we are as eternal, infinite being, the light of God, the peace and power of God, that which is never born, that which is never dies, that we're not bodies. And that's a concept to many people, but to have like the goal of awakening as the thing we really want the most. That's the thing I wanted the most. Every year I'd be like, okay, yeah, lose weight, do work I love, relationship. I mean, all the usual things. And you can have all of that. But I think it's important that we really take this moment to pause and reflect and to feel what we are, to feel the love of God, to feel this power, to feel this presence. And yesterday I did a Zoom call with, I do a monthly call with a small group, and anyone who wants to join is always invited. I was going through my journal a couple days ago, and I landed on this saying from A Course in Miracles, "What would you have me do?" So that's a classic Course in Miracle question. What would you have me do? What would you have me say? Where would you have me go? And often the body mind, the egoic mind that thinks it's a body, thinks it has to do things. Like what would you have me do? Oh, I'd be the light of the world, and I'll make people happy, and I'll be generous, and that's the body self. And what I wrote in my journal to that question, what would you have me do? The answer was receive our gratitude. Receive our love, receive our appreciation. And so I wanted to start with this because, a lot of my focus is on healing, and healing sickness is knowing what you are. That's the receiving this gratitude and the love, like really feeling it. So I would love to you to just where you are, just really sink into your chair, just really be the awareness of the body. Just closing your eyes, just resting here. Just taking a deep breath in. And just there's awareness of the body. There's awareness of where the body hits the chair or the couch or the feet on the floor. Awareness of the sound of my voice. Awareness of memory. Memory tells you that's Lisa's voice, but if we take away memory, it's just sound. Awareness of any sensations, just not judging, not analyzing, just awareness. Awareness of any tingling, any place in the body that feels hot or cool. And now awareness of the light of our true nature. It's all encompassing. It envelops this body, this chair, this room. This light envelops and encompasses the whole world. And you are this light, eternal, changeless, shining. Just resting here. And now receiving all this love, all the gratitude. And just feeling the love of God. I feel the love of God within me now. I feel the strength. I feel this life in me, this awareness. I'm just gently opening the eyes. Deep breath in. And this is how we begin 2025. We begin with the truth. We begin with an acknowledgement of the light we are. And you don't have to do anything, nothing to achieve it. It's here. It needs only be recognized. You don't have to do more in this world. You don't have to be better. That's the body self, that you are the totality of all that is. And so we start here. We center ourselves in truth first. And this truth is a light, that this truth is the light of God. And this truth dissolves all error in mind. That's from A Course in Miracles, lesson 107, maybe? Is that 107? I think it's 107, 105, 107. But this truth corrects all errors in mind. So for the first thing that I'm going to invite you to do, and just don't write it on the board. I want you to just keep this in private for yourself. I want you to just, in this openness, spaciousness that we are now resting in, the body's here. We've not dissolved the body. Nothing that needs to change. I want you to just call to awareness. Just call it forth. Course in Miracles says we have to face conflict. It cannot be evaded, set aside, called by another name if it is to be healed. We have to really call it back. And so I invite you to, and you can close your eyes again if that works. You can use your journal. You can just call forward something that you would like to release, something that you would like to see dissolved, something that you would like to see disappear. It can be an emotion. It can be a belief about yourself. It can be a way you've been seeing yourself that's not helpful anymore. Just call it forward in awareness. And just allowing the light of ourself to dissolve it, just to really recognize, like, I don't need this anymore. Just letting it just be here, seen by you. You're looking right at it, and you're recognizing that it's dissolving. It's dissolving in the light of this joining of ourself.
This is a good opportunity to just kind of reflect on what what were your highs and lows in 2024, and what worries and fears did you notice? What grievances were there? What judgments? Anything and everything that that hides the light of what you are. Your grievances hide the knowing of your being and experiencing that every day, all the time. It's a veil. It's a big, it's a thick veil between you and you. And so just give some space right here for your inner contemplation, just your inner noticing. And as Lisa suggested, it doesn't need to be written on the board. You can write it down. It's and then of course this is an opportunity to to leave it, to release yourself from it. And it's everything to acknowledge that. And also, if it has pain with it, feel the pain, welcome the pain, welcome the worry, welcome the whatever emotions or energies that accompany the thought or the experience that's being remembered. Welcome that home, welcome it to love, because it's just the energy of a belief in separation that creates these veils, these this experience of worry and fear and doubt. and it seemingly separates us from our true nature. It's just, it doesn't really separate us from our true nature because that's not possible, but it seems to. And so we want to welcome the energies back to our true nature, back to itself. And you'll be surprised when things arise. I went to a yoga class this morning. I didn't know they were going to have a releasing ceremony. They passed out these little cards and said, "What would you want to release?" And I didn't think I had anything to release. Oh, but I did. I had something to release. I wrote it on the back of that card. Boom. I handed it to put it in the bag. They burned them before by the time the yoga class was over. It was a spontaneous releasing ceremony like this. And there was a little judgment that was held in mind that consciousness reveals itself. It reveals, oh, here's a little thing, here's a little residue that is there that's keeping you from accurately or from being attuned to your listening ability. And that's what we all want. We all want our listening ability to be at the most the tightest, the clearest. And that comes with a visceral experience of well-being, happiness, inner peace, and then we share that. It leaks out of us when we're in that state of consciousness, when we're in the consciousness of our true nature. And
Yeah,
so,
and it's funny because Bill came back from the yoga class and he told me about the class and he told me about what he just shared with you about the cards and the releasing and I said to him, "Oh, what did you release?" And he says he kind of paused and he goes, "Oh, I'm not going to tell you, I released it." And I was like, "Oh, hey, yeah, right. Good. Yeah." I mean, and so I said to Bill before this call, I said, "Oh, I really like that you didn't tell me what it is. You came to awareness, you gave the card back and it was released. And normally I have everyone post things on the board, on the chat board in here. And I was like, oh, I really like that. Like, it's like we're keeping things because only the ego self wants to tell what I did. I released this thing. But if it's the true release, it's you released it. You brought it into awareness, wrote it down, which I think is kind of a cool, it's to me, it reinforces like, oh, I don't need this thing anymore. And then release it. Like if you write it down, whatever it is. And I also like the simplicity of just a short card and a one or two things, not like spending hours on this thing, because that's again the ego mind that wants to keep you in complexity and chaos. So if we just keep it simple, just keep it simple and just let something come to. And I like, Bill, that you said you didn't think you had anything. And then when you sat with it, it just bubbles up. Oh yeah, there it is. So this is like the first practice. And I really like, Bill, what you said too, like from A Course in Miracles, my grievances hide the light of the world in me. It's so important that we look at, like Bill's asking us to reflect, what were some of the low points of the year, like some of the grievances or some of the situations you found yourself in. No judgment on it, no analyzing it, but to recognize, oh, I was irritated, I had a grievance, I was resentful, I was this, and realizing my grievances about myself, the situation, this person, hide the light. The light is here. My grievances hide it. I can't see it. So it's important that we really take a moment to say, okay, wow, total responsibility here. Yeah, I have some grievances and they hide the light in me and I don't need them anymore.
yeah, and allow the little judger to be who he or she is too. Don't judge the judging, because we all have judgment. And what does judgment really mean? What does it mean really? Judgment simply means that we've left awareness, we've left our true nature, we've left the no judgment zone, and we've attached our identity to the bodysuit, to the body mind character, to the person, to the ego. So judgment isn't something that, oh, you let judgment go when you stop doing it. Judgment is an ongoing effect of the ego identity. And there is a way to live in the no judgment zone. It takes a lot of practice. It takes decades. You don't do it in 1 year. You don't do it in, you may not do it in 10 years. Eventually, that lesson that Lisa and I both mentioned, I will step back and let it lead the way. Eventually, it leads the way, and judgment isn't part of the playground anymore. Judgment is in the background of awareness. Judgment is taken is the judgment, which is duality, is replaced with just simply living an awakened life, living a life in awareness, as presence. And then the body mind experience, it plays in that playground as you. And there was another thing that you mentioned, Lisa, that you wanted us to bring a symbol of releasing something. I ended up coming up with these couple of cool symbols. This is Shiva. He's known in Hindu mythology. I picked this up in India. I love the Hindu mythology. And so this is Shiva, and he's known as the destroyer. And just a cool looking guy. He's got statues that are hundreds of feet tall in India, and many, many temples are adorned with that guy, Shiva. And then another really, and one of the offsprings of Shiva is Ganesha. Ganesha is also known as the destroyer. And so for symbolism, those Hindu, uh, characters, the Hindu mythology and Hindu characters, they have great meaning for the Hindu tradition, because they represent something that you turn things over to. So like we, for instance, in our thing where I wrote on a card and they did a burning bowl ceremony, a lot of things, when you hand it off to Shiva or Ganesha, or you put it into a burning bowl on the Ganga River and float it down the Ganga River, you're releasing yourself from the attachment that you have, that you recognize that it's time to let go of that. It's impeding my access to my true nature. So those were a couple of cool symbols that I found for the letting go part of this, Lisa. And how'd I do?
Yeah, I really like that. So, like, does everyone have something then? Everyone has something in mind of something that's no longer serving. And you want to hold those up again, Bill?
Yeah. So here's
Here's Ganesh.
Ganesh.
Ganesh is like a part man, part elephant, part.
Yeah, he's the
That's it.
offspring of Shiva, and
And
Shiva, he's
and
the big Kahuna.
Shiva,
Yeah,
so peaceful.
yeah.
So let's all just sort of in mind, just give things over to or
These two guys.
Jesus or Holy
Yeah,
Spirit or
yeah.
whatever truth we give it over to truth. We just to have right in this moment a conscious kind of you're conscious that you're doing it right now. that it's just a releasing. That it's like, okay, right in this moment, I'm giving it over. I don't need this anymore. And that's all you have to do. You don't figure
Yeah.
out how to make it go away. You just give it over. Just that's,
And you don't need one of these figures to do it. I mean, I like
of
to
course
use
not.
awareness. I
Yeah.
like to
I mean,
use
I think it's fun.
yeah, but this is kind of a fun thing. I'm glad you thought of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like what Dante just wrote on the board too, of let go of the idea belief it takes decades to let go of judgment. It may be true for Bill. It has been true for me. However, it is the belief that gets in the way and the ego attaches to, sort of lets you off the hook. It can be true for any of you at any time, however long or short of it. So thank you so much,
Yeah.
Dante, for
Yeah.
that,
Dante, that's
because
perfect.
that's to
Yeah.
me like that to me is when I think of 2025, like I think of this is the year of the Great Awakening. This is it. Like there's so many people over the last several years, like I'm going to say like 6 years, that have come into this spaciousness of willingness and openness, and I can see it. I'm surrounded by so many that they've been pulled right into awareness, right into consciousness, into the self. And they may vacillate a little, but it's just like, it's all I want. And so what Dante just wrote, I really thank you for that, because it's like, I feel like this is the year when it's just like more and more are coming into this space, and of course we know that there will be those that'll just be in darkness, but that's not our concern. It's just like that we really know, oh wow, that's all that there is, this awakening. It doesn't take years, it doesn't take decades. That what I am is here, always right here, shining, and I'm recognizing it. And so if anybody has any questions or any comments you want to post in the board like that, that's awesome. And so moving on, the second thing is the and I like that Bill's granddaughter was here, Quinn. She's 20, she'll be 24 in a couple days. She lives in New York, and we went out to lunch when we dropped her off at the bus to head home. And he said, Quinn, what are two things you would love to happen in 2025? I think that was the question you asked her. And she went so quiet. She doesn't have a spiritual background, but that question gets us so quiet. Like, and she just sat with it for a moment, and then she gave Bill one thing and then gave him a second thing. So right now, I'd like for all of you to just take a few moments. You can write it down in your journal or just rest in quiet. What are two things you would love to happen in 2025? And Bill, if you want to add anything to the practice, go right ahead.
Yeah, this is where you may have you may, and this is, we do this all the time, and it can be helpful. It can be a Kickstarter to open up the field for you to step into something you've been, thinking about, pondering, contemplating for years, or maybe you've started and stopped, and this is the start that's going to go to the finish line. It doesn't matter. Notice if there's any anything lingering. If you started something and stopped it, and you tired of restarting things. Notice if there's any guilt, anything from the past about yourself over that. But mostly this is for, and I have I have an intention and I have a goal. Lisa asked me what mine were, and I think these are powerful uh, pulls that consciousness uses to give to the mind that's operating in this bodysuit. Consciousness is not the consciousness isn't a blank. Consciousness is intelligent. It designed the galaxies and the worlds and the whole system, and yet it lays quiet in the background as our true nature. It lays quietly in the background as awareness. And yes, it also is a creative force that initiates amazing ideas. It initiates like excitement and energy over little things, like if you want to be a painter, you want to write a book, you want to start walking, you want to start doing yoga, you want to start walking in the woods, you want to start skiing or spending time with your grandkids or with your husband or wife or partner or animals, whatever. Anything that gives you a pull to be inspired by life, that those are awesome ideas. Bring one or five up. Write down 4 or 5 things that you love to do in 2025 that would just give you a new juice about yourself, your experience. And it doesn't need to be spiritual. It can be. I have a couple of spiritual things that I mentioned that I really am interested in, and then a lot of other things that are not spiritual at all. And I did this last year. I didn't know I was going to start doing yoga at 70 years old, but oh my God, I'm loving this yoga class that I go to, and so this has got new juice for Bill Free for 2025. I haven't been real regular at it, but now this is something that I'm setting as an attention that I'm going to put my attention on a regular basis.
Yeah, I love that. And I'm thinking, because I always like to introduce a break in here anyways to get up and move. So I'm thinking like maybe we just do a 10-minute break right now, but the break is intentional where you just kind of get up and move, use the bathroom, get some water, but then spend the rest of the time. We'll still be here, but just we won't be talking so that you can have some quiet 10 minutes to just write in your journal and then we'll resume. It is quarter to the hour right now, so 10 minutes from now.
Good idea. Thanks, babe. See you guys in a few minutes. Take a quick break
10
in
minutes.
10 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
See you in a minute. I like what Ashana did. She wrote in the chat what she was, what her intention was and desire, wish for 25. If anyone would like to do that, feel free to put that in the chat. Anything that you're inspired to make as an intention for 2025. Just feel welcome to do that. And it's worthy, of stating it and just let that be a pull for you. Welcome back.
Yeah, I really like that also. Thank you. Thank you, Ashana, for being the first to kick it off. Because sometimes when others post something, it might be something you didn't think about, and it's like, oh, hey, and that's like such a good one. Like this came to me immediately when I opened your email a few days ago. My wish, desire, intention for 2025 to be anchored and to live in this peaceful awareness, untouched and unscathed by anything around me. So be it, and so it is, right? Like that's mine too. Like that, so we can be inspired. And also, when you post something, you don't have to, but it sort of anchors it, sort of centers it. Like, oh, that's really what I want. So if anybody would like to put down your intention, um,
Yeah,
I'd
I'll
love.
just, Lisa asked me what my two things were for 2025. And highest intention is to live, just be completely enveloped and overwhelmed as awareness, just to be the abiding I am that I am, and to just be in that place. And I would say that it's pretty much it's what I experience a lot. It's not 100%, and that's okay too, because as I said earlier, and when I mentioned that to live without judgment can take a decade. Do you hear that?
Yeah, your sound was a little bit going in and out, but seems
Okay.
okay now.
To live without judgment can take decades. It doesn't really. Dante.
You might have to log out and log back in. You're losing your sound a little bit.
All right.
He'll be right back. So
How,
yeah,
how is that?
for me this morning, I always love writing in my journal every morning. And it's just like a delightful morning routine for me. I get my coffee, wake up leisurely, and years ago, I got really clear that the one thing I wanted was a simple, happy life. And and this is where like the details can be important because I used to always think I need money, I want $1 million, and then I could do the work I really want to do, and I can write a book, and I could publish a book, and I can, you know, help others, and that's the ego mind that thinks I need a healing, I need the body to be different, I need my life to be different, I need people to be different, I need more money. And I started thinking, what would I be doing if I had $1 million? Like, what would life be like if I had no obstacles? And the most simple thing was I would not schedule things before 10 a.m. in the morning so that I never have to wake up with an alarm clock, that I can wake up leisurely, which is usually like 7:30, and then leisurely go get my coffee, get back into bed with my books and my journal. The cats get up there with me. And I was like, oh, I don't need money for that. Like, I don't need I don't need anything for that. I can start doing that now. So that's like one simple little thing. Because my goals in the past were always like get in shape, lose weight, and I would break all those ones. But when I really started thinking, I want to be happy, and I started kind of just looking at the simple little things that I wanted, and they're doable. And I don't schedule anything before 10 a.m. anymore. I just don't. I just, somebody wants to do an interview with me, anybody wants me, I'm like 10 a.m. That's my start time. And that's the kind of stuff where you're looking at, like what Bill said is that first goal is to know the truth and to be established in the truth. And I was writing in my journal this morning, got a little sidetracked there. Back on track is that I wrote for 2025 from that lesson, Truth Corrects All Errors in My Mind, is that truth fills my mind completely. That's the intention. There's only truth, there's only light, there's only that pure awareness. And in that space is a quiet mind, and a quiet mind is a quiet body. So it's just like it's so simple when we can get some clarity around this. And Bill, you're back with your mic.
Yep, I'm back. And what I was saying was, as Dante mentioned in the chat, that it doesn't take decades, and yet to know these things, you can know about them. You can have concepts, you can read about it until you're fully immersed in it. It's not going to be your new nature. Your new nature is going to be your conditioned personal self-identity, and that takes time for everyone. I don't know anyone that it didn't take time for, including Ramana Maharshi, Eckhart Tolle, Byron Katie, the best of the best. It took a lifetime for them to become established in the self. And that's what I'm suggesting when I say, just allow yourself to be here for the experience. Allow yourself to be here for the marathon. This is not something that happens. A glimpse happens in an instant. An awakening experience, a mystical experience can happen in an instant, and you can recognize your true nature. Yet to be established in it, to live it and breathe it, and be the breathing experience of consciousness, it takes a lifetime to to develop the new default of what you always are, a new default of beingness. And I mean, our love for truth has brought us here on New Year's Day to be with all of you. And this is a life that's worthy of living. Living a life of peace and happiness is available to all of us. Lisa and I, we live this experience every day, and it's possible for if it's possible for us, it's possible for everyone. Does that mean that things don't happen, that we don't get bills like the rest of you? No. Does that mean that we don't get government letters that kind of can freak you out? No, it doesn't mean that. Does it mean that we have perfect relationships with our family members and everyone we meet? No, it doesn't mean any of that. What it means is that you learn the experience of your true nature, you understand it, and then you step into the experience of knowing your being, that accepts everything exactly as it is, and has that element of listening and peace and equanimity that leads the way. in everything that you do and say. It's what the Course in Miracles calls the Holy Spirit that really tells you what to say, where to go, and what to say to whom. That's all the experience of awakening changes. It changes how you respond to life's story, whatever it is.
Yeah, I love that. I absolutely love the comments. I'm like writing. I look a little sidetracked, but I'm actually like super inspired by these comments that are coming in, and I'm just writing some of them down that I want to remember. I really like this one from Rebecca Johnson, Becky Johnson in the house. Intentions for me is to really live in the moment, aware of it. No anxiousness, no worry, and no judgment, even the smallest judgment. To remember my brother is me, and to know when I look in their eyes is the eyes of God and light all the time, everywhere. I love that. And I remember years ago, there was another thing that I kind of had an idea to do, is that when I talked to someone, I wasn't going to multitask anymore. So like these are the kinds of intentions that when I talk to someone, I'm going to look them right in the eye from now on. And that takes practice, because if you start to be aware, almost no one is present in the moment until there's awareness, and almost no one looks other people right in the eye. It's so scary. It's so intense. Like when you look right in the eye, and when you're not multitasking, when you're with someone else, no telephone, no texting, no distraction. Just be right in the moment where you are with another, and life changing. So life changing and scary. That's scary. Bill,
Why is it scary?
when I first met, when
Why
I
is it
first,
scary?
it's scary because we're as body selves, we're used to hiding. We're used to not being seen. And we're not used to being with another so intimately. It's an intimate thing, even with a stranger. Like if you're at a supermarket and the cashier is just, everyone's in their own little bubble, right? And when you, as the customer, look the cashier right in the eye and see them, just like Becky said, to really look in as the eyes of God, I can always see it startle for the person, sort of, they're just and when I first met Bill, he was one of the first people. He'd look me right in the eye, and it would be so scary for me. I'd be like, "You are freaking me out. Like, stop it. Stop looking at me like that." And he's like, "What?" It was so much love that it scared me. It's scary to the ego. It's scary to the body. And now I'm not scared of it anymore. Like I've been with Bill for a long time, and but that's a really good practice. That's a really good New Year's resolution intention, if you're gonna have like something that's a little off the beaten path. Um and yeah, so just really grateful for these comments I'm reading here. Um
Yeah, what I feel, because I'm one of the facilitators in the I Am Retreat dyads right now, and
which for those of you who don't know about it, it's with Dan Schmidt, and
yeah.
it's in the
So
Awaken the World initiative.
yeah. So we're in the middle of dyads, and it's one-on-one, and we're going to do that in the Center for Awakening in the month of January. We're going to invite you guys, anyone that wants to come. We're going to do three or four. We're going to do 3 weekday dyads for 2 hours where you sit face to face, and this is a serious moment. This is not this isn't conversation. This isn't, hey, how's your golf game? Hey, how's your skiing? What do you think about the Mets or whatever that? It's none of that. It's about awakening. It's about self-inquiry, and you get face to face. And some of you have probably done this. In fact, I think I've seen you in some of the dyad set experiences, where you sit face to face with someone on camera, just like this, and just like I'm looking at Lisa right now in her eyes, and I'm saying, tell me who you are. And then that's it. That's the only question. It's an imperative, kind of a command, but she has signed up for it, so I'm not making her say something. I'm not making her do anything. And this is where you kind of squirm a little bit. You can squirm and go, "Oh my God, this is a little bit serious."
You're
But this
freaking
is
me out.
you're freaking me out. But this is where, yeah, I see
Uh,
you exercise.
yeah,
But tell me who you are, or tell me what you are. So we're looking for the gold. We're looking for I am to reveal itself as itself. Tell me who you are. And if you ask me that question, if Lisa says, tell me who you are, I would say, I I am. I am peace. I am me. I am you. I am I am stillness. The ego rises in me, and I am that. I am happiness itself. I am the unchanging where things come and go. And it's the practice. So I'll pause right there. It's the practice of recognizing your true nature. It's the practice of recognizing what you really are, which is awareness, which is pure presence, and living in the experience of being instead of it being a memory filled with concepts.
I love that. And I don't know if anybody was aware, feeling when Bill was just expressing that. Like, were you aware of body sensations? Like, because when the truth speaks, when there's expression of truth, when it's coming forth in anyone, anywhere, it's actually felt. I felt it like in my stomach. I felt like butterflies a little bit, like, and so there's more like an awareness. It's not like we're just living in a fog anymore, where we're like, oh, I'm in pain, or oh, I don't like this, or oh, this, or blah, blah, blah. There's like this sensitivity that comes forth in this awakening where things are felt so deeply. And of course, A Course in Miracles says this passage, this transition from the body self into self, infinite presence, is disorienting. It's a period of disorientation because we're so rooted in analyzing, controlling, trying to figure out, working hard, maintaining our image, not liking the way we look, whatever it is, that's the body self. And in the transition from that that location of I am a body, I am a mind, into the eternal infinite beingness, there's this period where the body self just kicks up a lot of dust. It's just like, oh no. It's like, uh-oh. Feel yourself losing control. You feel this intensity and discomfort. And what I've learned is that the fastest way through the discomfort is to welcome the discomfort, not try to get rid of it, but to really be present with whatever is arising in your experience from now on. You feel worry, you feel irritation, you feel whatever. And no emotions are wrong anymore. They're all just energy. It's all just coming up, and we don't have to push anything away. We don't, like, I loved also these comments are just so good. Like from Larry. to let go of doubt and memories of past experience and career difficulty and struggle, to intend to replace that with trust in divine timing. Another genius, brilliant intention is that we live with trust now. Only the ego thinks this shouldn't be happening, and only the ego mind, the person, the image, is like, this should have happened already. Why is this not happening faster? So we're now living in trust and divine timing and flow and ease, no longer needing these things to appear. To intend to replace that with trust in divine timing, surrender any judgment of how long it will take. I just love that. To build new work and appreciate every moment and every step of the process. So there's so many very good intentions packed into that one little thing, where, like that last one, to appreciate every moment and every step of the process. The ego mind, the image, the character that we made, that we think is ourself, it it already has an idea of how it thinks it's going to unfold and how long it should unfold in. And then it's irritated until it reaches its so-called goal. What Larry is saying, and which I celebrate, is like, let's enjoy every step of the way from now on. Every step of the process. This is our life. Like this not, we don't get a dress rehearsal, as they say. Like this is it. And it's the up, the down, the left, the right. It's all of it. It's like this is what we're here for. And so might as well just enjoy it and really appreciate the ride.
Yeah.
So if everybody has your intentions, and the final thing is Bill's going to lead us in a meditation, and the third thing is the symbol of this goes along with intention, but your highest desire. Like, what is it that reminds you of the truth of what you are? Like something, when you're in the middle of all the busy doings of life and the year and the days and the months and the weeks, what is the symbol for you that is a reminder where you get back centered, come back into peace, come back into connection with self? What is it? What is it that is just this thing that's going to help bring you right back into this place of calm, this place of joy, this place of ease and flow?
Yeah, I think I think Jody nailed it for me because she's right. She said that she feels the answer would also be silence because of who or what I am, we are, can't be distilled down to any words. And that's for me, awareness or stillness or silence. In the stillness of the moment, in the stillness of presence. When attention goes to that description, when attention goes to stillness, when attention goes to awareness, you basically have shifted from person to presence. You've shifted from the body mind identity. You don't need a symbol. You don't need a Shiva or Ganesha or a an Atman or or Jesus or Buddha. You can actually shift with just the description that resonates with you, just as silence resonates with Jody and for me too. I love that. And stillness. You can say, I am stillness. You can, and a lot of people, there's mantras are really good for re grounding yourself as your true nature, regrounding all you're doing is moving your attention from the body mind world experience to the infinite beingness that you are. And that only takes a shift, an instant to shift your attention to your beingness. And from there, that can be no symbol, that can be a word, that can be a symbol, it can just be the act of moving attention to presence. So if we'll have a short meditation where I'll invite everyone to meet us at the altar of our true nature, and then we'll open it up for questions. If anyone would like to raise your hand, we'll open it up for that as well. So if you want to just sort of move your attention to awareness. What is it that's aware of this experience right now? Just quietly, just allow awareness, stillness to be exactly as it is. There's nothing to do, there's no effort to try to do something. And if you feel to close your eyes, you can close your eyes and allow awareness, the awareness of the sound of my voice. Awareness is the pervading experience, just being aware of sound, being aware of sensations, being aware of the breath. When there is an awareness of the breath, it's not so much about the breath, although if you take a deep breath in through the nose and then out, it brings your attention acutely to the breathing. So breathe in again through the nose and then out. Just relax, holding your crown of your head tall and towards the ceiling, sitting up and just being aware of this experience right now. And this awareness is you. This awareness is your primordial self. This awareness is always in the background of experience. This awareness is what you are, and everything arises in this you. When an ancient writing, the Bhagavad Gita, Course in Miracles, something that some great teacher has written, when it speaks about you, when it speaks to you, it's speaking to this you. It's speaking to this you that is awareness. It's the no judgment zone, because awareness has no labels, it has no commentary, it has no good or bad, right or wrong. It simply is, and it's always online. Awareness is online, and it is the you that all of these teachings point to. In today's workbook lesson, I think it's nothing I see means anything. The I is awareness. Nothing awareness sees means anything, because awareness is quietly in the background of all experience. And this is the I that it is speaking to. I am. When Moses heard that, he misunderstood that it wasn't outside of him, that it was actually his true nature, saying, I am. It was revealing itself as itself to itself. And he appropriated it as Yahweh, as Jehovah, as a God that doesn't exist. But when you say it right now, I am, you can own it. I am. And it's also the same as awareness. Awareness is. You can claim awareness as the foundation, the background of what you are. You can also say, as someone else said, silence or stillness. If any of these words resonate with you, they're all saying the same thing. You are this. You are the stillness in this moment. You are the silence in which all phenomenon, all personal self experiences arise. You are still the stillness, even when the noise happens, even when chaos is happening, it's rising out of you. When worry is happening, it's rising out of you and can be welcomed back to you simply by being what you are, simply by being yourself. This stillness, this awareness, this you-ness, it is the kingdom of heaven that was talked about. This is what God is infinite being. This is you. It's not the body mind, it's not the person, it's what the person rises out of. It rises out of you. And what you are, I am. And what I am, you are. Your me is my me. When I ask you, tell me who you are, you can say, I am me. And it's the same me. It's the same me for all things, inanimate and animate. All animals, bugs, all things can claim the same me. It rises out of me. It rises out of you. You are the formless, infinite presence of God, incarnate. It's experiencing itself even as a bodysuit, even as a body mind. You can claim all of that. You are the infinite presence of God, love, beingness, and the ego arises out of you. It's part of you. And it dissolves back into you when you're ready to remember who and what you are. Can't wait to come home back to you in your welcoming. You have access to this always. And we use little pauses of remembering. Pause and be still. Pause in stillness and remember your true nature. Simply being yourself. And if your eyes are closed, just slowly open your eyes and recognize that you are still you. You haven't left. And all of these objects of experience, these physical objects that are in front of you, your computer, your screen, the walls, the room you're in, the windows, the furniture, they, and even the person that looks like you, it arises in you and you can never leave you. This is why God can never forsake his children, because they're all him. They're all it. They're all you. And thank you for sharing that meditation with us this morning, today, this afternoon. And Lisa, you want to open it up for questions?
Yeah, thank you so much, Bill. I love meditation. I love just being. And this is not a new thing for me. Like my whole life, ever since I was a child, I just like being quiet because that is our true nature, and I didn't know it. But it's just was always just like I love sitting in a chair and doing nothing, just and I noticed like in groups, it's just like we're just called to that, just called to this quiet and this silence. Um, yeah, I just want to say too, like, we are going to open it up for any questions, any sharing, anything anyone would like to say. For those of you who are going to leave early, I do invite you to check out, this isn't a sales thing or anything, but we do have some kind of cool stuff upcoming. So you can check out, Jack is going to post in the chat board for anyone that wants to check out upcoming events. Bill and I have a 12-week course that we're starting on January 9th, and that's next Thursday. It's live. We haven't done a live class in years, and so it's 2 times a week. Bill and I are going to be meeting on Zoom with a small group. And yeah, just very grateful for all of you. Just, you know, my wish and my hope is that this is really an amazing year for you, and that it's experienced now directly the truth of what you are as this pure being. And this includes the body. It's an incredible thing, for me to move out of being a Course in Miracles student, studier, teacher for 25 years. And a big misconception that I had was that I'm always an ego while the body is still experienced. And now I know that's not true. Like what we are is here always, and it has nothing to do with the body. So we can stop trying to disappear the body. We can stop being judgmental about it. We can just allow it's just the experience. It's not a big deal. It's not what you are. And here's the freedom. Here's the freedom now where there's no more attacking the body. There's no more wishing it was different. There's no more criticism of it. It's just the light of beingness truly dissolves all of those beliefs. They're just gone. And all that's left is peace and calm and presence. And yeah. So the hand raise function is at the bottom here. I see Nancy has her hand up. I don't know if anybody was in front of her.
Well, I like this question that Patty James has at
Mm.
229. She said, when do you know the goal is coming from the true self or ego? And I'll give a couple of option answers to that. One is it, the goal, if the goal is inspired, it's an inspired goal that that just would love to do something. I just really, I started doing yoga. Did that come from the ego or from, well, it was a suggestion. And it's when I got closer to 70, I thought, well, I need to have something to rev this, keep this body active. I think it's good for the body to be more active. So I had a pull to that. I would say the way to distinguish between whether it's an ego goal or an inspired goal, and really it doesn't matter which one happens, because we live in a with a GPS signal on us. Even when we make bad decisions, they'll get corrected. They'll get recorrected when we make bad ones. But my suggestion is you don't need to make bad ones. If you sit in stillness, if you sit in awareness, and you bring your choices, or maybe you journal and you sit with, yeah, if you think you have, should I do this or shouldn't I do that? I recommend that you bring the question to a quiet place and leave it without an attachment, and it will reveal what you should do. When you have when you have a participation, you have an intention, you set a goal, but with no attachment. That's when you know it's being incubated, it's being relegated to your true nature to determine which way you go with it. And that's why having grievances, that's why having living in the judgment zone, that's why releasing yourself from those elements, it allows you to have a very clear listening device, so that you not only bring your whatever your intention or your goal is into awareness, but you're also very clear. It almost Listening has a visceral experience about it. Listening, you just know I'm doing this. I don't really can't even tell you why I'm doing it. I just have such a strong pull to do it. It comes with certainty, and that has a feeling that comes with it.
Yeah, I love the question too, and I loved what you just shared, Bill. And for me, I used to try to sort it out. Is this an ego goal? Is this a spirit goal? Is this? I think whatever comes into your mind, anyone like for something to have or to do or to be, it's like the part that you just said, Bill, is no attachment. Like it's like there's no right or wrong goals, but there's no more of like I have to have it. Like it like years ago, when Bill and I got together, we were renting a house. And first we were renting apartments, then we were renting a house, and we were living in other people's furniture and things. And it was a great house, it was a great experience, but we had to move out every summer. We had to move all our stuff into a storage area and live in a camper. And then we moved back into the house and we couldn't find our stuff. It was like in a box in the storage area and whatever. And we both were like, we'd like to not do this anymore. We'd like to buy a house. We'd like to have a house. Bill loves to do construction stuff and he's a master builder and he just likes doing it. We were like, yeah, this would be fun to have a house with some property on it that we can have all our stuff. We don't have to move it out in the summer. But we had no attachment on it. So when we started looking, we weren't sure how it was going to happen. We're like, well, we could just kind of drive across the country in an RV. We don't have to have a house. But it sets it in motion where there's a thought about something you'd love to have as an experience. And then things started happening where Bill was at a coffee shop one day and he kind of looked up out the window. He saw this mortgage company and he just decided to go fill out the paperwork. And that got things started. Like it wasn't easy, it was just like we needed to get a lot of things to have that happen. But now we're in the house. And we still don't have an attachment to it. So I think like any goal one has is it's not the goal or anything. It's where are you about it? You know, like are you like I have to have it and I'm not gonna get it, I'm worried about it, or is it like yeah, like a child, like a little child that's playing. It doesn't it doesn't take things seriously. It's just like, oh, this would be fun. This would be fun to play this game. It would be fun to have an ice cream or to have a thing, you know, a toy. But the no attachment zone, like the no judgment zone, the the freedom and ease lane where it's just life is just flowing. It's just a joy. So, um, yeah, just Jack, who's up first?
Yeah, well, we have Nancy here with a hand raised if you'd like to come off
Yeah,
mute
definitely.
and speak to us.
Hi, guys.
Hey,
Hi,
Nancy.
Nancy. Nice to see you.
you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
I'm being called to, I've been doing an awful lot of reading John Klein books, and I've just been getting this call, and it kind of resonates with what Bill was saying, to learn more about the body work yoga that he talks about. And hearing Bill talk about he got interested in doing yoga, it just made me realize, well, I'm supposed to speak up about this because I've been looking for information on how to learn John Klein's bodywork yoga. And I can't find anything online that gives me any real detail.
Well,
about it.
you're in the right place because there was a living person.
Where?
What's his name, Bill?
Billy Doyle.
Billy
Well,
Doyle. And
I've seen his
Billy
book.
Yeah, and Billy Doyle is alive in the physical body, and he gives um those yoga teachings that he learned from Jean Klein. Jean Klein,
Yeah.
in his books that have been published so far, a lot of the bodywork stuff isn't in there, and so
Mm.
Jean Klein did the bodywork in his retreats, but somehow it didn't get translated into the books. And so Billy's the first that I've seen that he actually takes you through. So
Okay.
I would suggest going to his website.
I've been there.
The classes are super inexpensive.
But he's the person that you would recommend because
I've
just
not taken
yesterday I
his
was
stuff,
looking,
but
I was looking at his website just yesterday, and I wondered, well,
Okay.
is this the person that I should be, following? And I said, well, I'm going to wait until I get a chance to talk to Bill and Lisa so I can get some recommendations. So
Well, I don't think you'll get in his class. If you have a pull to go to yoga, just kind of let the universe pull you to someone
Mhm.
that's close enough so you can actually do it.
yeah.
Yeah, because I think the body work, like if you've read Billy Doyle's book, which I have, it's all just about awareness and letting the energy move the body. So you're really finding yourself in awareness of the body and then awareness of the space that the body is appearing in, and then you're being the space and the space moves the body. So Ellen Emmett also
Mhm.
does that kind of body work with the non-dual Advaita spin on it. Eventually I'd like to do it. I've never done it before as far as like a formal class, but those are the two that I would and it's a regular yoga class actually is another good idea. Like just because it's I don't know, yoga's amazing. Regular yoga,
Yeah,
just
I've taken regular yoga. I just got the sense that this was different. It's not just the asanas, it's as you described, sensing the body in the space and, beyond the space. And you usually don't get that in a regular yoga class, but
Mm.
so I'm just looking, and
Yeah.
obviously, Bill, I will get, something will come.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, if you
So
take
for
Billy's
for every
class, I've never I've never taken it, but if you take it, let me know.
All right.
So Nancy and Carol Roblin have been part of the Center for Awakening for quite some time, and this woman, and I don't know if Carol's here, but they're actually co-hosting a book study in 2025 for the Center for Awakening. It's free, and it's Jean Klein all year. So if you're interested in joining the book study, just keep an eye out for the registration next week or this week or next week, and you can sign up to be part of that with this beautiful woman, Nancy Ouellette. She's actually, they're both Canadian, Carol and Nancy. So if you also love Canadians as we do, then hang out with these gals and Jean Klein and enjoy your year with Jean Klein and his teachings. And it sounds like it's going to have a little bit of some additional flavoring of his yoga.
I
some
sure
of his
hope
yoga
so.
painting. Yeah, sounds
Thank you
good.
so much for the
Thank
plug
you,
there, Bill.
Nancy.
Thank you so much, Nancy.
All right, and thank you, Dante, for putting that link in the chat to Billy Doyle. Appreciate that. And Judy Yeoman has her hand up. Hey,
Hi,
Judy.
Judy.
Hi, Bill. Hi, Lisa. Thank you so much. Thank you, Bill, for the meditation and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
I just wanted to share something that's happened over the past couple of years, a process, and it involves a family member. And when I look back, when I look at what I was doing, I felt like I've always been this caregiver, taking care of everybody. And I always felt that I had to fix a situation or or change something so that person or whatever or that outcome would be happy or peaceful or whatever. And finally, the realization really hit me that I was doing all of this out of worry, fear, and what I thought was love, but it was actually a hindrance to real love. So I had to surrender everything, absolutely everything. And in that surrendering of everything came peace for myself. And what I find now is that those events, some of them are still happening. The people are still in my life, but there isn't that attachment to trying to fix it. It's a realization that maybe what I had actually been doing was hindering their path and their journey and not allowing them to go wherever they had to go, be whoever they had to be. And at the same time, hindering my own journey by, by doing what I was doing, which I thought was out of love.
Yeah.
So it's been a real breakthrough.
That
Nice.
is a breakthrough. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. Yeah, because the
Thank
ego
you.
mind wants to fix everything and control everything, and we're recognizing like I can be the awareness of the emotions and the situation, and just be the stillness, and then the breakthrough comes, and then the realization comes. So
Yes. Thank you.
thank you so much, Judy.
Thank you, Judy. See you later. Thanks for being here. Okay. Hey, Robert White, come on down.
Hi.
Hi, Robert.
Yeah, thank you very much for this way to start the new year. I'm from Canada as well, West.
Nice.
You spoke of this disorientation, which I recognize what I'm going through. Can that be accompanied with a lot of physical aspects? Like it feels like in my gut, in my torso, in my heart region, it's like I'm being turned inside out. sometimes when I go into I am.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely, there's a memory in traumas. There's a memory in contractions that often is directed to a cinching up or something, some body part that becomes noticeable as a sensation, as an irritation, as pain. And sometimes in the gut, it's something that wants to be spoken. And if you could if you gave a voice to that feeling, if you gave a voice to that experience, and just kind of play with what would the voice say is happening here, or you stay quietly as the awareness of the experience, which it's mostly my practice, is don't touch it. Mostly my practice is don't touch it and welcome the sensation, welcome the experience back from whence it came, which is you. It came from you. Everything comes from you. And so there's two different methods of approaching uh, body sensations, body activity. One puts a voice to it, the other one stays in silence.
Okay, thank you very much. That's helpful.
Yeah, thank you, Robert.
Thank you.
Hey, Barbara Lovejoy, come on down.
Oh, my heart's pounding. I really love this because I think somewhere in my beginning experience, just this year of being a Course in Miracles student, I keep sensing nothing's real. And so I should just spend all of my time meditating and doing all these solemn things to connect with beingness, and that anything involving it brings up in some weird conditioning that, like, maybe I was a nun in past lives, I don't know, but that I shouldn't do things that bring joy and fun, because that's just all an illusion. Nothing's really real. The body's not really real, so we don't really take care of it. So what I'm trying to say is maybe I need to move into a much larger space of being the I am that also feels the loving, joyous impulses. Like, for example, I love to dance. It brings me joy and freedom out of thinking and judging. And there was a 2-hour international folk dance offered last night, New Year's Eve, and I thought, wow, that sounds like the kind of wonderful community, good, fun-loving thing that would amplify my desire for more community with others in my life, even if there is no real other out there and we're all one. Everyone else still seems to find joy in reacting with others and has partners, etc. So in spite of all the doubts and all this guilt and judgment, I thought, to heck with it, I'm just going. And I went. And it was a wonderful break from staying home, being solemn, to be more and more to try to undo my judging mind. So, can you help? Because I heard Lisa say something about changing your attitude to some degree. I've been doing non dual and everything else for years. And somehow doing the course put me into this judging, dual mode of there's the body and there's the spirit. It's hard to put it all quickly into words.
Yeah. Yeah, you're describing what a lot of Course in Miracles people go through. It's just it's the ego, which isn't real. It's a made up entity that then takes these spiritual ideas and uses them to remain in conflict. And so, awareness is the key. is where, as a practice, you be the awareness of all that mind activity. Like, I shouldn't have fun, and I shouldn't dance, and I'm not a body, and it's an illusion, and I should just be meditating now, and I should just be serious, and you're asking, to whom do these questions and these thoughts arise? Like, this is activity in the openness, and you start to say, who am I? Like, you have this inquiry practice of really coming back to, what am I? Who am I? And then where for me everything changed is when I stopped blocking the life that was wanting to flow. So, like last night, it brings me great joy that you went. While you were telling that story, I was like, I pray she went to that dance. I pray that she went. Because when you start to see that life is flow, it's ease, it's power. It doesn't stop. It doesn't contain itself in a body. Like, I just got to meditate now and like, no, life is it's alive. It's flow. It's what we are. And only the personal self gets in there and blocks it. Like, oh, that's not spiritual. Oh, recently I went to New York, and it was so much fun. Like, a friend sent me a video of this artist that was at the Met, Tenzing Rigdal. He did this whole amazing thing on mandalas. And she sent me the YouTube video, and it was this instant, I have to go sit on that rug. I have to go see this in person. It was just like life kind of gives an idea. And I said to Bill, I want to go to New York, and I want to go to the Met. This show ends on January 12th. And then I kind of put things in motion, how I'd get there, who I'd stay with, and I went, and it was amazing. And so that's, to me, like, the non-spiritual way that I do it. Is just be the life, be the spontaneity, the childlike wonder, be as little children again. That's what Jesus said. Children love dancing. They don't say, I got to meditate. They're dancing. They're not thinking about it. They're just playing. So this is way more simple than we've made it out on the spiritual path. It's just be the life that you are, be the aliveness, be the joy, beingness, be you. And that's, have fun, you know?
Yeah, thank you.
That was
Bill,
beautiful.
did you want to add
Lisa,
something?
oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Barbara.
Well, I don't even know. It's just, and I took your 40-day class a year or two ago, Lisa, and that was also great. And then I was with a group where they kept sending and focusing on Ken's work, but it was all focused on how you've got to wake up and realize, deal with the original guilt and this and that and the other, and nothing's real anyway. And I just got so depressed. I felt like, what's the point? Aren't we on this planet, even if it's an illusion of it's all energy, matter's not really solid? Isn't there some purpose for this path other than we did the wrong thing to begin with by even being here? It was so confusing.
Yeah, that's the thing. You got to feel your way through. I'm speaking to everybody here. And there's times when we're in these groups or we're with teachers, and it's like, this isn't right. This isn't it. And then it does, bless them. We bless
So can
everyone
I
on the,
just so can I just trust my own heart that
yeah,
this doesn't feel like the love of that Jesus Christ had in mind?
exactly. Yes,
That's an easy one.
trust in that.
That's
Yeah.
an easy one. Yeah, it's not what you it's not what you think. And have fun. And
Yeah.
we didn't make a wrong step in being here. Consciousness
Hmm.
did all of
Yeah.
this on purpose. This is not a mistake. You are
Yeah.
not a mistake. you came here. In fact, Barbara showed up to have an awesome awakening experience, guilt-free,
Hmm.
without sacrifice. And A Course in Miracles, you can get off on the wrong messaging in that and not have a good time. And that's what this is for. We want you to have a good time and wake up and live an awakening life and have your cake and eat it too.
Hmm. Yeah.
Go have fun and wake up. You know, most of us can't be Ramana Maharshi or Nisargadatta or Buddha or Krishnamurti. But we can also have an awakening experience and still live in this bodysuit.
Yeah, everybody on the chat board is saying, Barbara, go with your name, Lovejoy.
Yeah, well, I chose
Yeah.
that name years ago. It came to me, and it's been like a magnet pulling me to this is your path in this life. And my work also is about sharing, laughter yoga and helping others lighten up and play more and smile more and all the things you're saying. And yet it's always still been hard for me. Almost like Moses never got into the promised land, but he led everyone else there.
Yeah.
Anyway, I won't keep going on, but my cats, I just saw your cat,
Yeah.
they think they're
And
very
this is,
real,
speaking of
and
joy,
they need me to give them cozy attention to their darling bodies all the time.
yeah, this is joy to the world.
Thank you. You're bringing it more together. I feel in a body, heart, mind, spirit way, a total unified, non-dual way. And I really appreciate that.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you. Thank you
All
for
right,
helping me let
we have
go
two
of
more hands
guilt.
up, and I think that'll end our time together. So, Carrie. Hi, Carrie.
Hi, Gary.
Hello. I'm very emotional getting to tell you both thank you. This has been the hardest year of my life, and just all of the love and inspiration that y'all both have as teachers and of being of light. Thank you. November of 2023, my daughter Harper, she's 20. She fell asleep driving, and she was a nursing student, and she experienced traumatic brain injury with 4 weeks in deep coma. And that was the ultimate like crushing for me. And at that profound moment of seeing Harper on life support, I knew that she was not the body. And 4 weeks of waiting for her to wake up, it was excruciating. And so the non-duality, non-dual teachings, they have helped me have these glimpses that we are spirit. And so the films, the Awaken the World initiative, it's like I have had to reparent myself to unlearn everything that I was. I'm 55. And so I just want both of y'all to know this reparenting process and like the crushing of my heart watching Harper go through her process. And I did get the memo from the universe to awaken to the true self. I go back and forth. And so, Lisa, I feel that I have sat with you. I just feel that my spirit, my heart knows you, and you've been part of this comfort process, and that my grief process and my awakening process. And I just admire you. I think as a very inspirational to me. I can hear your voice and it just comes back into awareness. I see you writing many books, and I see you uh, touching so many lives, and both of y'all have touched my life deeply. Thank you for all that you do for everyone, for humanity.
Oh my goodness, Carrie, I love you so much. And I'm so grateful for you and so grateful for you coming here with us with just this expression. And and thank you for that final message. Like I wrote here, like I want to write books. I haven't written books, and then how you're saying that I'll write many books. Um and how is Harper?
She's awakened to be more of in a childlike state, and
Hmm.
so I believe that she's one of my master teachers.
Is
Um,
she, is she off of life support?
she did
Mm.
fight her way through. She's had incredible care. Um,
Hmm.
the Harper, it's like I have grieved, and your teachings, uh, Lisa, have helped ground me. As it is, uh, both of y'all, the reminder in those films, Awaken the World Initiative, resistance is what causes intense psychological suffering. And so I have been practicing the non-resistance as it is. And I just believe that Harper will remain childlike. He's functional. Um, there again, the resistance of what is, and she is she's different. She too is in a state of enlightenment that I can't resist. Um, it has been a grievous process for me, but again, I can't emphasize the work that both of y'all do. It's extraordinary. It has given me inspiration to dig deeper within, to find the kingdom of God within, and to maintain it, no matter what the circumstance as it is. And so I will never be able to express my gratitude. Thank you both. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Carrie. Thank you. And you know, what's so beautiful about the story, even though it's tragic, you know, your daughter having a car accident like that and being in that state, is that we really don't know what anything is for, and that she's a catalyst now for your awakening, and also for the catalyst for the awakening of those that are on this call right now hearing this, is that in that moment she's on life support, is that that was your moment of the bottom where you started to really go beyond concepts and start to entertain the reality that she's not the body, and
Yes.
that this is the path that she set you on. She is master teacher,
Yeah.
and she is whole, and she is perfect, and she is complete, and that body does not define or limit what she is in any way whatsoever. That she is here reminding us of the truth. She is here. She came in, and she is now fulfilling her function in this moment for the awakening. And that is where, you know, it's the body mind doesn't like to hear that, but it's like that's the
Mhm.
truth when we can really see, like, wow, everything is bringing us home. And now it's like you being the reminder for Harper, if she forgets, that you only see the truth of what she is beyond the appearance now. Not trying to do anything or heal her, but just to really be seeing the light she is, the power she is, the presence she is. Thank you so much, Carrie.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
we're going to end this call. I saw that Indigo's hand went down. Indigo, we love you. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing. Thank you, Jack. And Jack's posted links here. And we just hope you all have an amazing rest of the day and just
The new year,
New
make it
Year.
awesome.
Yeah.
Give a little intention for yourself, even if you can have 4 or 5 intentions. Have an important one, have a fun one, and have one that will take you deeply into your true nature. That's what my recommendation is. We let go of the past. It was yesterday, all of it, and then make this year a new beginning for yourself and have fun. And we'll see you out there.
Happy New Year. I love you.
Happy New Year. Thank you all. Bye-bye.